cutting things out. There's a couple arrows to the bum, as it's simply just looking for any value, any villagers to kill, any sort of options. But of course, town centers are up, and we are going to see both players opting into a boomy situation here. Like I said, it's kind of expected because of the double gold mine nature here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a very quick heroic age. That being said, making a handful of units here to apply pressure as Noir can kind of offset some of the issues that Noir is going to face if this is a power boom towards Tiger. So it might not be a terrible idea here for Matador to open up with a couple of Bow Swordsmen, try and poke pressure over onto the wood, poke pressure in onto the food here. The chicken situation or the berry situation can attack that. Ideas of attacking these caribou as well, as Magic most likely is going to want to be over there. On the flip side though, Matador, because he's so safe with this this how-to, with this well, it kind of gives you a false sense of security that you can kind of sit there and just power grade, right? And in comes the monkeys, and the relic monkeys manage another vill pick. Oh dear. Relic monkeys. What can you do, man? They will all end up dying except for one. You actually do want to delete this final one so you can get the respawn time to start. You're not going to be able to start unless they all die. If they all died, then you get a kill out. There's upside to jump a little bit of harassment. That Pioneer is just kicking away. Feel good. So surprised that my fuel a little bit of damage done, but did not get any hits. Back home. So this is effectively, we would call this both players power green. Both players are spending every little bit of favor on the Quafu here. And the Quafu, the reason why we see this a lot of the time is because the earlier you get these Quafu out, the better, basically. So waiting on the Quafu, going into some myth units right away, and then building Quafu doesn't really make sense because you're going to be in the same position regardless for 10 minutes. So you see people doing these sorts of things. The question actually is, how many do you go before you don't build anymore? So Matador at the moment, he's got 3, and he's building a 4th one. Magic on the other hand, he has 6, and he is pumping those out. But the Qiongqi is in, and is getting some value, and I actually feel like it wouldn't be a terrible idea here for Matador to actually sacrifice the Qiongqi. He's trying to get this final peasant, not actually able to do so. Great control there from Magic. Thought he would get the vill pick, not able to do so. Anyways, not the end of the world, but Magic definitely feeling like he's got an advantage here, just based on the fact that he's got more Quafu out. As in comes the answer, and down goes the answer. Another strange idea in this matchup is actually to just go for the 3rd town center very, very early on, especially once you've clicked advance through Gormag. Yes, it slows you down. This is specifically for Noir. Yes, this slows down your mythic gauge. As you're trying to get the full population target, you don't really want to be slowed down where that's concerned. But if you grab the town center, then your opponent can't prevent you from grabbing it. They have to come in and actually kill it, which means they have to put pressure on and gives you some more time in actuality to mass up to your own type cav numbers. But actually, he's one step ahead of me. He's grabbing his own town center. And potentially here, actually, Matador, he might get the gauge first. I don't know. Is he eating the Peach Blossom Spring? Not eating the Peach Blossom Spring here. He's a little distressed. That being said, because it's 2 large gold mine ghosts, like they can just until all the gold's gone, and then mine for into the main base. Those relic monkeys, they're in. The Tao Wu is not very happy about this. Look, the monkeys are coming. This time, I'm not getting caught out. We're shanking you down. Unfortunately, China, unlike Norse and Atlantean, don't really get any favor from killing off those monkeys. But it's definitely a thing. As both players through Gormag, both players getting up their ballet, upgrades coming through as well. And we will see Matador opting for a handful of white horse cav to look for the raids early on. The question is, will Magic do the same? Answer is yes. As Najat coming onto this side, a couple of pioneers causing some problems here, as there will be a Zhang up, which is a bit of a help here. And the ballet up onto this side for the moment. There are 3 white horse cav in here. And Matador is channeling his inner Kavoth here, I'd say, as he waits until he has a handful of them and then says, all right, let's go. And there goes the front forest protection. As Matador, he's got to be thinking, oh, wait, is that a town center up there? It might be. Machine Workshop coming in. The problem with doing this, I think, is that Magic here, I think his plan is to get himself out some siege. And that might find itself having some issues versus a somewhat quick Gong. We'll have to wait and see if that's actually going to be the case. As this Tao Wu, converted by the sage, ends up going down, up onto the top side now. The Horse Cavalry looking for any sort of entrance. You can just knock down the walls if you like. Not that strong. 660 HP is not nothing, but it does end up dying eventually. As the Gong is pre-queued. Villagers here putting up farms. Lots of goats here behind all of this as well. Into the main base though. Cavalry are coming through, and Matador, this is him in his element, getting off these raids like this. As the Towers are going to come up over to this side of the Quafu, trying to make a retreat here as these red White Horse Cavalry, they're getting caught out. But he's going straight after the villagers. Any sort of retreat here to try and keep these White Horse Cavalry alive would be huge. Overstays just a little bit, loses a couple of White Horse Cav. He charges through the berry bush, is always dangerous there. If you know, you know. But the lightning weapons finishes up. Villagers in the main base. Garrison, there's so much gold in the bank there from Matador. I know it hurts, but sometimes it is worth it to buy 100 food. Then comes down to siege crossbows. And Matador, he is in a little bit of trouble here. Getting himself his hooves of the wind, chasing the sun also coming through. As the White Horse Cav back in to try and hit villagers in the main base. Really careful with that Tao Wu on the front. Getting stolen by the Sage and then charging in to take out the siege crossbows can be a bit of an issue. In comes the Tao Wu actually from Matador. As he will also drop the forest protection onto the valley. Definitely doesn't want to be losing that one. But sooner or later, there will be this Gong Gong. And there will be a very, very powerful Great Flood here. As Magic trying to take out the Tao Wu. Tao Wu does have that special ability, but does not drop it. And Matador back into his safety here. Look at the difference in military. It's literally the difference of a Mythic Age. And Magic, he's about to be able to click up. The big problem is, all of these White Horse Cavalry are going to become useless in this game once the Tiger Cav start coming in. Magic's being pushed back. Heavy Cav is in. Ballet coming through for... No ballets for Matador just yet. Been surprised not to see like 3 or 4 ballets down. The big issue for Matador is actually he hasn't secured this gold mine or this town center. Yes, he's behind on villagers by quite a bit. So he's going to have to find some way to equalize with his icon, basically. He's going to be getting himself a Rising Tide technology, trying to deal with this Tower for the time being. There's a Tiger Cav. Will take a long time to come out of this ballet for Matador. Matador's actually finished up on his gold mine as well. There's still 2,700 gold here, 200 gold here. Villages into the main base going down as Matador looking for some counter raids over here, but this is not really the same amount of value. Down 97 villages to 61. Absolutely crazy differentials for the moment here. Ballet up onto this left side as well as Magic's going to be carrying this. He's still got himself that Peach Blossom Spring there as well, so there's going to be a lot coming for him as the Kuafu are making... Oh no. The Kuafu are... How dangerous can you get? In come the Kuafu. In come the White Horse Cavalry. You have to turn around and fight this. There is a dragon here. There's also going to be access to the Great Flood, which he drops down. But behind this, in comes a very scary dragon. There are the heroes, though. They can deal with the dragon. The hero Kuafu there as well, trying to get that all up and dealt with. But the Kuafu over here getting picked off, and Matador losing everything. He's not able to get the ballet down. The dragon is down to 900 HP, and Matador will tap out. I don't think he needed to tap out. Yes, he's down a ton. But here's the problem. It's militarily speaking, all he has to do is kill this. He's got all the gold in the... He doesn't have any food. That's the problem. He's got 0 food income at the moment. He needs to set up about 40 farms. I guess it is very, very difficult for him here. But, what a brutal Yinglong from Magic. Just taking all those Kuafu out, and he just could not do anything there. I mean, we talked about it, but this is a very, very different finishing move from Magic. He's going to set up his trade route. He's got himself all his farms starting up. He's still got the Peach Blossom Springs, so he's still got a big amount of boostage in this game. But Magic wins in 3 here, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very, very solid showing from him. He's going to be heading into the semi-finals and finals tomorrow. Let's check out the bracket, see who's going to play, and we are way ahead of schedule here, so we'll see if our next matchup is ready or not, but we might need to have a break until that all happens. Let's check out the bracket and see who Magic is potentially going to have to face tomorrow. Alright, so Magic is going to go on to face either Soup or Nyan Racing Cat. And then, of course, Heisenmon, Matrius, or Brass Garnish next. It does look like Nyan and Soup are ready, so we're going to have a quick 5-minute break. And be back with our second series. Isla Putchley Incarnate is here. The new fire ceremony does get dropped. He also stacked his own units, get himself out something, but there's 2 Tajiplers. Special attack coming in is a boost of damage for the Garnet army. As he's breaking through the center, there is still a pillar of Twilican to drop down on this position to help be stabilized. But he's not doing it. In comes it now finally. There's the Eye of Putchley, but that does not have much HP left. Sitting underneath this could be very, very dangerous. The town's going to end up falling. The Atonton Smashes will start coming in as well. Little bits of damage to come through. Lots and lots of dead units from Garnet. Now into the center of the map. This fight, I don't know if it's quite good for Eric BR. Aizumato is looking incredibly powerful here. Missing himself his actual upgrades, though. He needs that next tier of Bushido. He's still a little ways away from it. There goes a nice Valkyrie spawn to help him out, but the Juragumo is working to take that one down. Bushido tier 2 does come through, and that there is now going to be a lot of dead Ursa, and Aizumato is in a commanding position here. There goes that tornado, as the Kuafu are going to move off of this gold. This is the last little bit of gold that Magic has. He's trying his hardest to bring this game back from the brink, but he is getting pushed off of everything. He needs units over here. The one Avenger on this side is going to be some issue. Create some problems as the Lullaby does get dropped. You drop Lullaby, you go after the commoners on the back. He's trying to take a couple of units out one at a time as the heroes getting cleaned up. Lullaby finishes, and now Recon's going to be ready to actually fight the Kamitachi, who huge damage to these infantry units. The Cody Warriors coming around onto the back line trying to take out the Bushi there, but that is an overwhelming victory for Recon, and Soup just taps out. He is Brass will just pull back, trying to get himself more units out. Heavy Cap to come through, and there, Recon controlling his army, trying to take the fight. Brass is just full send at the moment. Onto the backside, come with Kontari, still no chaos in from Brass as he drops it onto the left side. Recon spread his units out very, very nicely. You also have to remember that these units are fighting on top of Gaia Lush, so that's HP regen while it's all going on as the heroes come onto the back there. Hesperid's tree for the HP regen as well, as that's 5 HP a second from both of the Hesperid's trees. And Grass goes for the Hail Mary on that fight, and Recon, as Recon does best, simply says, what are you doing? You can't win this fight. Please leave. That being said, the Soup Water Warriors, they're going to be going hard. If Soup can utilize these trees and then dive out of it, which you can do, you get so much bonus damage here on this fight. He's feeling like he can actually take the fight as the Touchley comes through, rolls into the main base, go out to the town center again. Onto the backside of the Eagle Warriors. They're getting chased down, and there goes the Earth Monster. After all is said and done, Soup stacked a bunch of villages to make that happen there. Can he win the fight, though? After all is said and done, 3k versus 3k units are falling. The Eye of Putchley here is the main amount of assistance that Soup actually has in these fights, and now Musker says, I'm getting out of here. There goes the Earth Monster. The last little bit of HP from the Garbage Bloom did get stolen away. Now Gulumbursty is brought in to say, I don't want to deal with, I don't want to lose all my units to the Earth Monster, but immediately Soup just says, no problems, let me just kill it. The bunnies are sitting here waiting, the units are going to get thrown straight back out, and now the bunnies are back onto it, and it looks like Thudison, he's going to lose everything. He's going to fall, and this might not help. This might not help Eric as much as you think, because there's a whole bunch of militia that are going to spawn from it. Onto the top side, Raiju is going after villagers. Villagers are going to pull back to the town, so they can't garrison there, though. That's going to be tough, but the Naginata Riders are going to be going down. Now the heroes can come in, chasing the one unit away. Great control from Eric to stay out of that, but those militia, they have bonus versus Cav. They're going to get through those Cav very, very nicely, as the hero numbers for Mosca, he does still have them all alive. He's been keeping them very much alive. And all right, ladies and gentlemen, time game number 2. First one was a very solid 3-0 from Magic. He's looking in fine form. But both these players, this playoff that's going to be coming up next year, that's Super 9, neither of these players have dropped the games just yet. So one of them will, without doubt, have to drop their perfect record. I don't know if these guys have met each other through the years of retail thus far, but let's check out their head-to-head and see how things are going to go. So they have played quite a bit, actually, over the years, and Soup has had the advantage in 2 series to 0, actually. But the last most recent series they played was in the Champions League Season 4 Losers Bracket, Round 1. Round 1. So there's not much separating these two, apparently, according to the recency. Now, that was obviously over nearly a year ago. They haven't met each other since, but over a year ago. So quite a lot of stuff has changed since Champions League Season 4. We've had Pandora Attack 2, we've had a bunch of different patches, we've had DLCs released. So I guess we'll have to wait and see what 9 Racing Cats going to be able to do here. If it's actually going to be able to make the shenanigans. So they're going to pick for. So, another game. Soup and Nyan here. Chronos and Matarasu bands from Soup. I think those are somewhat targeted at Nyan, because Nyan very solid with those 2 gods. Nyan's just banning out the Whistle, Luxley, and Thor. I think Nyan's got a super good read on the Soup god pool at the moment. Thor is definitely at the bottom of his list, without question. Sure, he'll pick it if he needs to, but it's not going to be one of his priorities in the slightest. Soup grabs the Quetzalcoatl first and foremost. Then, of course, Gaia has got the pocket for Nyan. Then the new Wafushi from Soup. Sets Susanoo from Nyan. Odin Shinong from Soup. Tsukiyomi Poseidon from Nyan. And the Uranus from Soup. Well, our first map is going to be Shenong versus Susanoo. So not a simple matchup for either of these guys. Shenong has got to have to play a very defensive game. Soup loves power greeting, and you can get caught out against the Susanoo aggression very, very easily if you're not careful. Very, very easily. So you do have to really be switched on as to when you can spam out those Guafu, when you should stop and maybe start saving favor for, say, an extra god power usage, or save for some extra myth units, or even just to not spend the favor in general and be able to save that gold that would otherwise be going into Guafu. Susanoo, on the other hand, like I said, lots of aggressive options. You can go for Inari Wakami here, which has fallen a little bit out of favor, but it's still really strong, and you can go for Minakata Tomi. The reason why Inari Wakami has fallen out of favor is the game plan for Minakata Tomi is just looking a little bit simpler, and sometimes simple is key. Sometimes simple is just better, because you know what's going to happen, you know the sort of ways to. If you go for Inari Wakami, you can kind of go into more of a chaotic game state, but that's also where Nyan sort of functions the best. So I guess I wouldn't be surprised to see him go that way. And if he does decide to go for the Swampland route, for the Kitsune route, I have to assume that he's going to be looking for a lot of raiding opportunities. And we'll talk about it more in the actual game, but there's a couple of units you really need to avoid in this matchup as the Susanoo. So let's jump into game number 1 here. We'll break down the matchup as we go through. But it's Nyan, it's Soup, it's playoff 4. Let's check out Blue Lagoon. Alrighty, off to the races we go. In the right-hand corner of the map, it is the biggest brain in Age Mythology himself, Mr. Aces Husk Soup. Well, from the Aces team, Mr. Husk Soup. And he's going to be playing some Shenong for us in game number 1. In the left-hand corner of the map, the man refusing to ever play a stock standard game of Age Mythology in a tournament I host. His name is Nyan Racing Cat. He's a man who loves a good cheese as much as the rest of us, but I think maybe even more. Nyan and cheese, there's nothing that really goes together quite like those two. Nonetheless, we will see how things are going to go here as the game progresses along. Let's check out some relics here. Up onto the top side, there is the Pygmalion's statue, which is religious hit points plus 40%. Onto the right side, there is the arrows of the Alpha, which is damage of melee attack and ranged attack plus 15% of base. Over onto this side, there is the system of Bast, which is religious food, wood, and gold cost minus 15%. And onto the bottom side of the map, there is the Archimedes' Ledger, making siege and medicine population usage -1. So, I said in the pregame here that there are a couple of units you've got to be really careful not to build here as Japan versus both Shenong and Nuwa. And the units you want to be careful not to build are, number 1, the Yumi Archer, and number 2, the Yati Spearman. Now, don't build Yati Spearman for obvious reasons. There's not really going to be that many cavalry units getting built, at least later in the game. And when cavalry gets built, chances are you can build the Yati Spearman. Yumi Archers, on the other hand, there's just not a good reason to build them. That's number 1. Yes, you can take out halberdiers with them, but you can't really kill off the Dao Swordsmen. They're kind of more of a destroyer type unit than say a hoplite type unit. But the more pressing issue is that there is going to be a threat throughout the entirety of the middle of the game of you getting blown up by Fey Beasts. So then you'll say, wait, what do I build then if I can't build Yumi Archers or Yati Spearmen? Well, the answer is quite simple. You build yourself Yumi Horse Archer, you build yourself Samurai, you build yourself Naginata Rider. Any of those 3 are perfectly fine. Bushi as well are perfectly fine to build because they don't die to the Fey Beasts. So we'll see how things are going to go as Soup opts in to a how-to option here, which he might be kicking himself with that one. But he does have a very, very nice town center over here. And the reason I say he might be kicking himself with it is how-to is better versus Inari Wakami, and Chi Yao is better versus Minakata Tomi. Actually, you know what? No, I take that back. I think that Chi Yao is better versus both, but how-to is a lot more consistent, I think, versus Inari Wakami. That's what you want it because it stops those Kitsune raids and things like that. Anyways, Trial Hunt is now down for Nyan in his main base. He is ready to play a somewhat standard opening here. He does go for the double stables, though, to kick this one off, as in comes Earthwall in the main base. Earthwall in the main base, protecting everything from those Naginata Rider raids. And Soup, behind all of this, does have access to the farms if he wants to. So he can very, very simply put up some hidden villages if he needs to. If he gets attacked here too early, he should be fine. The only issue is these Naginata Riders are coming, and Soup is going to need to get himself units out very, very quickly to prevent himself from losing a lot of units on, say, this gold mine or something like that. As in comes Naginata Riders now. Town center is up. Nyan is left going, what do I do next? Wouldn't mind seeing, military camp going up is totally fine. Up onto the top side, here comes the one Yudo and the Naginata Riders, as the Pioneers are in there to cause a little bit of revenge harassment. You can also bring in a Guafu or a villager to repair those walls up if necessary. As up onto the top side, the Guafu gets nudged away as some help here can start coming through. Up onto this side now, going to be getting the temple actually.
Hello. Today we're going to solve the fuel supply.
The long trek around to try and deal with all this. As in comes the Shenong farms. I don't mind this usage, but I think I would have liked to see Soup on this gold mine with the farms protecting the gold mine. But and that just protects him from the Naginata Rider raids, and he can actually be on a second gold mine rather than having himself kind of in a difficult spot a little bit later on. But nonetheless, he does need to invest a lot into those prosperous seeds farms, so he can do that a little bit later if necessary. There's Nyan riding down to the bottom side of the map, swinging around here, checking out gold mine and all that other good stuff that is on this position. Up to the side there, the one Yudo does get some attacking. Indeed, will get taken out. And well, that's a big win there actually for Soup, because Nyan, he says, I heard horse is good, let me just build horse. But horse is only as good as the pathways built for the horse to ride through. And at the moment, there isn't anywhere for it to really go. So you can open up those pathways. And military camp on the way. Xiongqi gets harassment. This is one side. Walls there. Not going to go down anytime soon. I think that putting 5 Naginata Riders onto the wall is quite nice, but if you don't pay attention, yeah, you got off nearly 200 HP worth of damage. You lost a Naginata Rider there. In the middle of the map. Silo up. Zebra. Soup. Time to wander forward. Time to try and defend. But gotta be careful not to throw away units up here, though. A big fight right now might seem like a good idea, but here comes the Kusanagi. The Naginata Riders are going to be still trying to take things out at home as the Xiongqi goes down. There's only a handful, not even a handful, there's only 2 Halberdiers here. More Halberdiers are going to be coming through. And Soup throwing away some very much needed units here as the Kitsune getting sniped. We've got the one Yudo getting pulled back. Is the Miko going to go down next? It looks like. Does it end up falling? Yes, she does. More Naginata Riders are going to be coming around from the top here. Tier 2 is about to come through, and this means an extra 50, or is it 40? An extra 50 favor for Nyan to scam out one Yudo or whatever else he wants here. Now comes Hand Axe and some more Bushi, even also some mini archers here. And look at the gold from Soup though, he is floating tons of it. He is still pumping out Guafu at the moment. Now up onto this position, I talked about it already. It's so hard to remember to do this unless you're playing like a bunch of Shenong. I know that Soup has been, so I'm a bit surprised to see him not do it, but silo here, for example, and then farm on the corner into prosperous seeds makes this really, really defensible. But that being said, one wall up, and it's perfectly defensible as well. As now in comes the crushing waves, a couple more Kitsune to come through, as well as one Yudo, speeding up the army, making it very, very strong. The problem with this attack is, Soup on the second gold mine, plenty of gold in the bank, I'm sure he's going to be looking for a heroic age. And with a heroic age comes that brutal Bay Beasts. An army gets dropped over here, it does get scouted, the Halberdiers are in, and I guess also behind this, there's no real problem in keeping on building those Javelineers to take out things like Bushi, getting more value from the Fey Beasts that is coming. Rush on the way. Let's have a quick look at how many Guafu Soup is built. He has 12. 12! Peasants getting picked off as they will pull back. The units dying here as they're trying to retreat into the main town center, but Soup has got literally no problems dropping a couple of buildings. Even losing the town center here isn't the worst thing in the world. Because Soup can just continue to move backwards. As long as he doesn't lose this gold mine, he can continue to just sit back until he hits heroic age, and then he's going to be in such a good position here. The only real thing that's a worry is the lack of pioneers. Those will get sniped down by the Bushi while this fight is coming in. Military camp on the front with tower attachment ends up going down. More units starting to trickle in. How many heroes are here? One Bushi is not going to cut it, though. That being said, maybe the one Yudo might. As in comes the heroic age from Soup. Soup going to try and poke down those one Yudo. He can also get himself out more pioneers, and inside of the Imperial Academy, there's going to be that Jiangxia available. As in comes the Fey Beasts and say good night to the majority of those Yumi archers. There's only a handful remaining. The pioneers, not the pioneers, the Javelineers need to get on top of those, but they will be able to do so, and this army from Soup is so devastatingly strong. There is nothing left for Nyan to do but tap out as the Susanoo gets disposed of very, very easily here from Soup. I was warning you. Yumi archers, that is a scary unit to build versus Shenong. Very, very scary. Samurai, a lot less scary. There's plenty of food. You've got map control if your opponent is on 2 TCs. Get out onto that food. Make Samurai. Make Naginata Rider. Make Ondomusha as well. And this Fey Beast doesn't really do good to actually continue in this aggressive approach. But really well played from Soup for this first game. He is also, I mean, he's been playing so well for this entire tournament. He either crashes and burns really, really badly, or he looks unstoppable. So far, one game down, one unstoppable. It looks like Nyan, he's going to be in for a long day at the office. Along the ways that he's been going in that first game. That's his first loss in this qualifiers, actually, I think. Right? This is last week. Anyways, let's jump back over the draft and see if we can get game number 2. Looks like the next map is going to be on Ghostlight, and Soup is going to be continuing with his blue ways. Nyan, he's going into a god, but he's very, very strong at the moment. I know exactly what the stats are running. Poseidon has been incredibly successful in recent memory in this tournament. So we'll see what Nyan's going to have. We already sort of know. Soup wants a second council, but not easy to do versus Poseidon. But he also needs to get sorted out on food and everything else after. Again, lots of problems definitely can come along in this game. Let's now jump in. Game number 2 on that first one. Talk about it. Let's go. we go into game number 2, the second Chinese pick, the Soup. I believe he has all 3 of them in his draft. Am I incorrect about that? No, he's got 3 Chinese gods in his draft, and I've definitely been talking with Soup, or at least a little bit, here and there. And every time I talk to him, I'm like, man, your Chinese is so strong, so solid. You gotta back yourself with China. I think he has been backing himself. He's been going, yep, let's go into my style, playing for the power creep, it's been working out for him. Only issue is, when you go up against Poseidon, now Poseidon's slightly different to that Susanoo, especially Minakata Tomi Susanoo, slightly different here. Hermes, fast advance, early pressure, hitting gold mines, putting pressure on, stopping second town centers. Soup probably here needs to drop a military key before he goes for his second town center. So, we'll see. We'll see if that's what he's going to do. Otherwise, he could get into some trouble because Nyan, he is very much going for one of the fastest advances you possibly do here with Poseidon. He can go 1 villager faster. Probably you can kind of get a 12 villager advance or a 13 villager advance. But if you go 1 villager more than super duper fast, and he's going to be off the races on the flip side. Soup, he is going to be advancing. He's going at the same time. Slightly slower. Yes, the same sort of advance time from Soup as he moves on to the back wood line with these peasants, which actually allows him to take the Guafu hero off and put it onto this gold line. For the moment, his temple is out of position to some degree. Soup is kind of, like I said, he loves to do this thing. Like, I'm just going to keep on calling it power grading until someone tells me it's something different. He loves to do this power grading thing. Inside of that, sometimes you can get these temples placed a little bit awkward. Even if it was placed over here, in between the berries and stuff on the side, it's still open to get attacked. On this side, however, it's right in the front, and I have to imagine that 9 is going to target this down. It's 300 resources, easy to kill. We are going to be seeing the Guafu hero making its way to drop the town center immediately. On the flip side, 9 is grabbing Drang on the map. There's other relics here as well. We've got the clear drum for the heroes to get some extra damage done as they lose hit points. There's also going to be adamantium shingles there as well. Tawara. Throws last arrow, which is 0.2 extra range attack damage. Divine damage there. Down comes the earth wall. Town center will be up. There's back caribou here. And surely we see Nyan. Is he just going to go straight for the town center himself? This is slightly strange, I'd have to say, as the centaur gets sent away, not able to get any damage. No Pythias count. So no early game threat to say pick up the temple or force out something or whatever. There's just nothing. About the Atalanta. The wood coming through, gold villagers now get pulled off, moving up to the top town center, and it's going to be both players playing a boomer game this time. Stable goes up as well. While this is all going on, nope, counter the first. Stable. There's just not going to be any real pathway forward here for Nyan to get any real damage done. Apart from the temple, which is obviously damage. You definitely want to kill that off if you can. But generally speaking, if you do have the plan to go for a fast second town center as Poseidon, you should just drop it straight away. Like, advance 1 more villager later and just drop it straight away. But anyways, the stable now up. Start making himself Pythias and looking for that pressure. Of course, this top town center does have caribou on the back, so Nyan can look to drop the lure down here as well. Not a terrible idea. I'm actually going to drop it on the town center. That's a bit strange. I think this is very safe. No real need to even worry about what Soup is doing. Soup's got himself a military camp up just in case, but it's clear to me all Soup wants is a heroic age. There's a world tier we're going for a big classical age push. Makes a lot of sense. Gao swordsman, maybe some halberdiers as well wouldn't go astray. It does make sense. Fire arch ends up being some hoplites coming through. On the flip side for Nyan, I don't really know what he should do. Making Hippias doesn't really make sense. I guess trying to power greed for the Mythic Age and Feistus times while applying pressure with Hippias makes sense, but Nyan actually idle town center times is so brutal. I don't know exactly why. I think he's just bought husbandry, and yeah, there you go. He's got a huge amount of food in one go there. Okay, I will bring up this. I was going to ignore it. I'm pretty sure the storehouse is placed correctly. He just has to click, and the villagers will run through and be in a good spot, but Nyan doesn't want to do it. He's too busy focusing on other stuff. Archery range now coming down for Nyan, as he does see the military camp and the halberdier. But what halberdier are coming in is Nyan's going to be trying to find something to take out. If you're going to charge up to the top, you can take out the halberdier here. No problems where that's concerned. There will be a heroic age behind this. Look at the crazy eco that this Lua has at the moment. 41 to 32 villages, equal on military, and he is going to be heading to the heroic. That there is a very, very large advantage. As Hippias get in, and they do manage to snipe one Guafu here. Question is there going to be enough time to actually take it out or not? One Hippias gets pulled back, the silo gets deleted, and Soup keeps that one alive. Hippias back in onto this side. I'm sure Soup can just turn, throw some big boulders at it before getting back to work. It's up onto the top side. It does get sniped down. No escaping there for Nyan Racing Cat. Behind all of this, he's making Coxodis. He's making Hippias. He needs that heroic age. But Soup is looking so dominant at the moment. Here come the Hippias trying to scratch down these earth walls. Reaction from Soup is a couple more military attack by Gems down, and your Hippias are going to start getting smacked. Charge on the way. No Coxodis here. I guess there is the answer to potential. Well, that's game 2. Not sure what's going on with that resignation.
No, it's not necessary.
Not sure what's going on with that resignation. But who gets the win? Is that a disconnect? Nope. Okay. Literally just resigned. Go back to the drafting menu. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, game number 3. We might be in for a pretty short day here, guys. Everyone wants to just get 3-0'd and we just move into day 2. Oh. Nyan, I don't really know what he should do here. Making Hippias doesn't really make sense. I guess trying to power greed for the Mythic Age and Hephaestus timings while applying pressure with Hippias makes sense, but Nyan actually, Idle Town Center times is so brutal. I don't know exactly why. I think he's just bought Husbandry, and yeah, there you go. He's got a huge amount of food in one go there. Okay, I will bring up this. I was going to ignore it. I'm pretty sure the storehouse is placed correctly. He just has to click, and the villagers will run through and be in a good spot, but Nyan doesn't want to do it. He's too busy focusing on other stuff. Archery range now coming down for Nyan, as he does see the military camps and the halberdier. More halberdier are coming in, as Nyan's going to be trying to find something to take out. When you're going to charge up to the top, you can take out the halberdier here. No problems where that's concerned. But there will be a heroic age behind this. Look at the crazy eco that this new war has at the moment. 41 to 32 villages. Equal on military.
Oh, yeah,
and he is going to be heading to the heroic age. That there is a very, very large advantage. As Hippias get in, and they do manage to snipe one Kwafu here. Question is there going to be enough time to actually take it out or not? One Hippias gets pulled back, the silo gets deleted, and Soup keeps that one alive. Hippias back in onto this side. I'm sure Soup can just turn and throw some big boulders at it before getting back to work. Someone from the top side does get sniped down. No escaping there for Nyan Racing Cat. Just behind all of this, he's making Hippias. I think he needs that heroic age. But Soup is looking so dominant at the moment. The Hippias trying to scratch down these earth balls. Reaction from Soup is a couple military camps down, and your Hippias are going to start getting smacked. Spirited charge on the way. More Toxotes here, as I guess there is the answer to a potential. Oh. Well, that's game 2. Not sure what's going on with that resignation. Not sure what's going on with that resignation. Not very happy with that one. But Soup gets the win. Is that a disconnect? Oh, okay. Literally just resigned. Alright, let's go back to the drafting menu. Sorry about that, guys. There will be a heroic age behind this. Look at the crazy eco that this new war has at the moment. 41 to 32 villages. Equal on military, and he is going to be heading to the heroic age. That there is a very, very large advantage. As Hippias get in, and they do manage to snipe one Kwafu here. Question is there going to be enough time to actually take it out or not? One Hippias gets pulled back, the silo gets deleted, and Soup keeps that one alive. Hippias back in onto this side. I'm sure Soup can just turn and throw some big boulders before getting back to work. It's up onto the top side. Does get sniped down. No escaping there for Nyan Racing Cat. Just behind all of this, he's making Toxotes. He's making Hippias. I think he needs that heroic age. But Soup is looking so dominant at the moment. And come the Hippias trying to scratch down these earth balls. Reaction from Soup is a couple military camps down, and your Hippias are going to start getting smacked. Spirited charge on the way. More Toxotes here, as I guess there is the answer to a potential. Oh. Well, that's game 2. Not sure what's going on with that resignation. Not sure what's going on with that resignation. Not very happy with that one. But Soup gets the win. Is that a disconnect?
Oh, I don't know.
Nope. Okay. Literally just resigned. Alright, let's go back to the drafting menu. Sorry about that, guys. Alrighty, game number 3. We might be in for a pretty short day here, guys. Everyone wants to just get 3-0'd and we just move into day 2. Oh.
Oh, nice. I got the 3rd death.
Alright, let's sit back and wait for this next game. Ready to watch Matador versus Magic? They already played. They already played. You can watch it on this stream, on this VOD. Just rewind it back to the start of the stream. Why not take the time to go over the following rules? Which rules do you need going over? Where can I download the Gameathon maps? You can download them on the mod store. Just type Gameathon into the mod store and it should come up. Right, so the players who are qualified for Gameathon thus far are Mr. Gavot and Ramble, from previous S tier tournament wins through the first years of Retold. Then we have from qualifier 1 was Recon, qualifier 2 was Jameson, qualifier 3. So there are 6 players qualified. Now it's time for game number 3. Let's jump into step and let's see what it's going to be.
I forget where I have to go to refuel soon.
Off the race we go into the right-hand corner of the map. Soup playing as Odin is going to be doing his stride and true fast tempo opening. Nyan on the other hand does decide to pick set for game number 3. First 2 games have not gone quite how Nyan would have liked here. He's a little bit lost on the Chinese matchup, not being able to make it work with his Susanoo, not going to be able to make it work, not being able to make it work with his Poseidon. We'll see what Nyan is going to be able to come up with here against the Soup Odin. Lots of players have been struggling versus this god of Soup. Soup has been able to apply early game pressure, find the economic advantage, sit on the economic advantage, and then find wins versus a lot of different people. That being said, if there's a god that can make life difficult for Soup here, it's set. So, I guess we'll see how it's all going to go as the relics are going to start getting cleaned up. Soup has already spent 1. My Huel's negate here. I'm going to pick that up. More relics on the map. On the bottom side of the map, there is the nose of the Sphinx there with an extra 15% hit points for houses. Shadow's Aqua Whip over here as well for cloud mitigation, getting an extra 5% per upgrade. And into the center of the map, there is Bone Shards of Miklin, granted 2 favor if you happen to lose a myth unit. Quite tradable myth unit, I should say. So now, normally what we see here from the Egyptians, and I would say what Soup would struggle the most against, is what I like to call Death Ball Egyptian play. So that's basically you're going to try and get yourself your Wadgets or your Noobites, Spearman, Axeman, Slinger, and you just try and get yourself as fast as you possibly can to 145-ish population, maybe more, and you just look to control the entirety of the map and strangle the Norse on the second
Jill?
floor. Very, very
Chris, you're
alive!
alive!
Of course I'm alive.
So there will be options of going
Jill,
for
there's something
those
big
Wadgets
going
if need be.
down, and I don't think
Alternatively,
we're
just
part of the
Axeman,
equation.
Things like that. Wouldn't be surprised to see
I
Soup
have to
going
get you
this
out of
time
here.
out. Looking for his early damage. You just see the Bone Shards
It
in the middle of the map.
won't
He's going to happily pick that up. Missed the relic up onto the
Wait,
top side.
I'll
So
be
this
back
Raven
to
is
get
going
you
continue
out.
searching
Okay.
around here. And it will
No
actually reveal eventually.
sightseeing,
So
though.
Soup might be able to find himself the advantage, so to speak, as this Berserk coming in. So follow there to the villager, who angrily shanks the Berserk away. And Soup with the Odin regeneration rate is going to go back up to full HP very, very quickly. Now in comes the barracks. There is no scout on this actually from Soup, which is normally likes to get that undermine in, but he doesn't have the advance time that he would normally like. So both of these barracks are going to be going up. Some spearmen getting built out here from Nyan. Normally you'd like to see Axeman as fast as possible, I would say, as set, so you have access to some of the fuels with Ursa immediately. But straight into Spearman is also fine because you're going to look to utilize the speed advantage of those 5.3 Spearmen to get some early game damage done, as the Spite of Vision gets dropped down, and I can see everything in this main base from back villages here, dwarves over on this side, and another one comes from Soup, now coming down. Meanwhile, the Straggler house, random house getting dropped down. To some degree, this is just a bait from Soup, though. Soup, he's not going to mind this in the slightest. Like, kill off my house, it's fine. No problems. He's going to have all the time in the world to maybe move across the map and make something else happen here. Soup did reveal this top relic, but is he sending something up there to grab it? Nope. Is he still continuing to come up? Is he just going to sit in the middle of the map? Generally speaking, I would say Norse has the advantage here to move out onto secondary hunt early on versus Egyptians. Definitely versus some other gods that can be a little bit more tricky, like versus Anubis or Bars can be a little bit more tricky because the mid units can come in and raid you and kill your village off very, very quickly. But versus there's not really much in the way of problems that you have to deal with. So getting up some more houses. He doesn't have himself safeguard just yet, but Rick Fuller is in. As Nyan now says time for some slingers. More spearmen. He still doesn't have access to any axemen here, so a mask going to be in soon, and Soup will have some very scary berserks to have to deal with here. And surely Nyan will see that and say, okay, fine, we'll make some axemen. But I know Nyan loves his spearmen, and spearmen up onto the top here, causing some problems as the army from Nyan says, now it's time to go. He is catching Soup out a little bit. He hasn't spent all of his resources. Generally speaking, being behind on military resource value as Norse at this stage of the game is not what you want. But nonetheless, in come the Berserks as the Einery will blow that horn. Devastating to the Spearmen on the front. The Slingers don't know what they're doing in this fight. There's not a single throwing axeman out here. And Nyan will pull back when the Berserk does end up falling. We'll start to see some raiding cavalry joining in here as the Einery tanking up onto the front side there. Does have that horn yet again. Blows that for even more damage. Soup has been using this manually so far.
What is that supposed to mean?
He's also going to get himself that yellow horn behind this. A mask as well. Nyan, after the first fight, has been shooed away. Surprised actually to see the Yellowhorn. Doesn't really give a whole lot of anything to the Einery at 5 HP, 15 HP. Of course, the Horn is going to be a bit more useful, but an extra Einery is going to be incredibly key for Soup moving forward. There's Nyan on the back here, Wadget's coming in, Axeman coming through. Einery coming up onto the top there for Nyan, and Nyan probably does need to get himself some priests in, as well as... And there's probably an angle here where going into Gazelles isn't a terrible idea. He sort of pushed off of the map because he lost that first fight, but going into Gazelles from the Pharaoh could be okay, as Nyan trying to find some value here with those slingers as the Einery gets that big horn blown, but this is not the fight that you would normally expect to see from Soup. He doesn't really need to do a whole lot. Breaking down exactly where Norse completely devastates the Egyptian army is at full population. very tough for this Egyptian army to win versus a full population Norse. And look at all the gold mines in the center of the map. This is very simple from Soup to play. He just has to get vision on everything, sit back, relax, and catch any sort of attempts for any sort of raids coming in as the slings will get a little bit of chip damage off there. Soup drags them out. As in comes the raiding cavalry trying to catch them out here. Does manage to get onto the back line of them as the Berserks onto the front. Nice attempt here from Soup as Nyan very much outside of his base here. Throwing Axeman devastating those Axemen there as well. But the Urso go down with 2 Wadgets here. You might want to consider pulling back. There are the Berserks who are going to get bonus damage versus mid units though. That's going to be enough. Bonus damage versus mid units from that mass technology. And Soup just simply wanders in, dominates the army as well, walks away with 50 favor, and he can now get himself some more Ivory in if he wants. And Spearman raids for the moment has a pretty hefty villager advantage, and we'll simply just say I will take the damage, no problem. Villagers now moving forward onto this next gold mine as Soup sees this and goes, okay, well, let's look for another fight here. The game can end on this next fight here, probably for both players to some degree. Soup has got the advantage though, where he doesn't actually need to force a fight, whereas like Nyan has to sort of sit here and keep on balling up until he can catch up on military. Soup can get himself a market, maybe some selling or Ironry to come through. He can spend all those resources. There's probably no way that Nyan can defend here. The best bet for Nyan is to get survival equipment and then be ready to utilize his villagers as part of his army in order to try and hold on. The desperation from Nyan to get something in his making Hyena. These are technically free units. Plus favor, more favor for how much damage is it? 3.9 hack damage per second, 45 HP. Not a lot at all. As Nyan, he is trying to move forward here. Soup's a little bit wary of what's going on, but I'm pretty sure with that amount of Ironry here, there's not a whole lot that Nyan can do. And Soup says, alrighty, let's just go in. He just converts a massive amount of villagers into Berserks here, and the Ironry just continuing to blow their horns. Absolute devastation on the army of Nyan Racing Cat, as Soup is going to walk towards the fastest 3-0s I think I've seen ever in tournament. That there is what we call absolute and total domination from an Age Mythology player. Soup shows off his loading. Yet again, this is a lot to be scared of when Soup is at the helm. Nyan came into this one going, alright, fantastic, we've got the Egyptian versus Norse matchup. Sorry to say, it's not simple. This is not a free win for an Egyptian anymore. Norse has got a lot of power. I think the big mistake here that Nyan made is not being one with, oh, I have to go Axemen. Those Spearmen, they don't do a whole lot versus Berserks versus Persa. Axemen do. Those Slingers, to be honest, are useless. The only real reason for them to be out is if your opponent has got thrown Axemen, of which Soup didn't really have many on that first fight. So the army that Nyan went with to kick the game off, where was it? Let's have a look at the timeline. This first fight, right here, Nyan had the military resource advantage. It just didn't matter, partly because the Pharaoh wasn't there as well, but it didn't matter because he didn't have Axemen, he had Slingers instead. So, a well-constructed win from Soup, a well-constructed win from Soup for the entirety of the series. We'll be seeing him play tomorrow. Let's check out the bracket and see who he's going to play. Let's jump over that. So yes, it will be Soup versus Magic tomorrow. I think that's a rematch. I think they played each other last 5 games, and Soup managed to win that. So Magic's going to be looking for revenge where that's concerned. The next matchup is going to be Garneth versus Brass. Unfortunately, I do not see Garneth in just yet, so we're going to go to a short message from our sponsors. Not we have any, but a short message from our sponsors, which is the highlights. Mitzla Putchley in Garneth is here. The new fire ceremony does get dropped. Of course, B also stacked his own units, get himself out something, but there's 2 to Jiplin. Those militia, they have bonus versus cab. They're going to get through those cab very, very nicely. As the hero numbers for Muska, he does still have them all alive. He's been keeping them very much alive. And Eric just loses the entirety of his army. He killed off a town center. He didn't kill off that many villagers. And I think Muska not only held that, but he came out way in front. The longer Brass waits, the stronger this Aztec army becomes. So the Ursa splitting off, coming up onto the top. There goes the flaming weapons. As these Ursa are late to the party, but they're going to be coming in nonetheless. He can drop down some buildings as well if he wants to stop them from getting away from here. The cavalry are a long way away. The wall a long way away as well, but Izumato, he's getting that one taken out by Grass, as Grass prevents the retreat there as well. Now the speed walking from the Eagle Warrior reinforcements to get everyone back home, but the villagers onto this side now. So ladies and gentlemen, a little bit of an update. I have not been able to get hold of Garneth just yet. The game was technically scheduled for 8 GMT. We're currently 16 GMT because we just had 2 series finish in literally 2 hours, which is Eric to stay out of that. But those militia, welcome back to our play from game number 1. Appreciate you guys being patient with this delay between game 2 and 3. Here's what it is. But about to start duking it out on the map. Ghost Lake, lots of random things are going to be happening here. Let's jump into Ghost Lake and see what we are going to see here. Here we go. Off to the races we go. Left side of the map, we've got Grass playing his floor, dropping his early Dwarven armory on the 1 gold mine Ghost Lake. His opponent today in the red color, playing his Amaterasu, is Garnet. So, we've got the Shuriken in the middle for the map as well. This does not bode well for Grass. The ninjas are out. They have left their mark on the lake. In the center of the map, we've got the head of Orpheus there. A little bit of extra line of sight. We've got better of Jingwei with trickle plus 0.5. Over on this side, there is the Uller's bow, giving range units an extra 1 range. And finally, on the top of the map, Pandor's box. All the units becoming a little bit more cheap. Alrighty. So forward gold mine for Garnet, probably not what he wanted to see, but it's pretty simple to get early defense here. You're just going to drop your Shrine of the Hunt on that forward Miko there. Alternatively, you put the Shrine of the Hunt over here, behind the berry bushes, and maybe put a wall in. Shrine of the Hunt here. That protects the gold mine and all the other good stuff there, but that's not what's going to happen. And the game goes on with some pretty quick Sacred Custodians in for Garnet. He does get some good scouting in, does see the Feather of Jingwei, so it's a little extra wood there. Also, he's going to swap that Ulu's Bow. Ulu's Bow seems like a great idea to play into as a Martial Arts, but I think that this matchup, it used to be very important, I'd say, to go into Yumi Archers, but I think the more that I play it, the more that I think about it, if I'm playing Japan versus Norse now, I actually really want to build Naginata Rider and Samurai. That's the unit comp that I think is got, and it's sort of universal versus Norse, I mean, sort of stay away from the early game Archers versus Norse, just on the fact that you don't really need them to deal with throwing axe anymore. Instead, it's better to treat the throwing axe like a ranged unit, which it is, to treat it like an archer. I wouldn't be surprised to see Garnet go that way. I also wouldn't be surprised to see him enjoy the fact that Bull is both +1 range, plus also the Hunter's Strength +2 range on the already high range units of the Archers. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for an Archer Ball here and try and make that work with his one Noodle, because 20 range is quite a lot. But see how it's going to go for Garnet. It's almost in, and Grass is going to be taking a very, very slow route to the classical way. This build order that he's doing is still totally fine, but it's not a build order I would recommend for one gold mine Ghost Lake as Thor. Take a look at what's being scouted. You see a lot of gold mines, so that sort of makes it a little bit better. But the problem with it is, take a look at the actual median gold mine. One player has already mined out 1,800 or 1,200 gold. The other player here has mined out, let's just call it 150, but he's also got plus 100, so 0 gold. He's still got 3,000 gold left in his gold mine, basically. Right? That's how that works. That's how that works. He's mined out 300 gold. So, yeah, there's a big difference, which does mean that problems can become very apparent on a second gold. But there's gold mines all over the map, so it might be okay. Nonetheless, more upgrades are coming in for more dwarves, more eco advancement, more eco advantage. Saltwater Spring, however, on the way, and it is going to be Samurai, Yumi, Archer, for Garnet. As in comes the Great Hall from Grass, and I would be surprised if Grass doesn't go for his full Herser shenanigans. I'm Monarch. Hello there, my friend Jonas Janasen, as well as Ironhide. For those of you who did donate and throw some support into the crowdfunder, I do say thank you yet again. Now, you guys, we would not be able to be doing this qualifier. We would already be finished the qualifiers. It would be done. It would be a done dealio. No one else would be able to get in. As in comes Guardhouse, more Guardhouses. So Garnet, I think he is very much going to be going for his option of Samurai, Yumi Archer, but I don't like that he's moving out on the map at the moment. The Herser who gets spotted over here is the...
Let's go.
I wouldn't wait for that after. God damn it, I hope there's a single. Hype is real. Stop doing feels you can only thug it. You can get on top of me and run me like a hug. Well, at least I got buried with me. Man, I'm so hyped, bro. This game is so cool.
Troll comes through, and Garnet is going to lose the guy. No, he does manage to keep himself safe for the moment. Grass did not spot the army movement there. He's charging across the map now, looking for some damage. As into the main base comes the defensive setup.
Thank you,
so
Barry.
It's going to be full Yumi Archer with a handful of Samurai to front line.
Oh, don't blame Barry for everything.
It's kind of metagaming here to some
I
degree.
hear that
You've
his
seen the way
better
that Grass
half
plays.
and two
You've seen that he
lovely
goes full
daughters will
Herser.
be in
Well, he
danger
should be
if
fine
he doesn't
to
do
actually take these
everything
fights.
I tell
And
him to.
Garnet should be fine to take these fights and be in a good spot. If Garnet was going for say Naginata Riders here,
Oscar, you're
Grass would have a lot more play,
pathetic.
a lot more options. But for now,
Well, you
he doesn't really
shouldn't
have
worry
anything
too much, dear.
except hope. If you can catch
You'll be
Garnet out
free
with this
of
next
all
movement around
this
to the side,
anyway.
well, that's going to be huge. Walls coming down onto this
Why
side.
eliminate
Walls basically got
stars?
omniscience, and I see the Herser coming through. And not only that, the
Believe it or
flag
not,
is up.
that's
Garnet
Umbrella's
pulling his units
intention.
around here. The villager going to attempt to make a break
You're
for it,
just
but
a
Grass
slave
finds the
of
kill. He might even drop down
Umbrella.
the solar shield there. In fact, he does do that.
Smart
and
girl.
It's not the end of the world.
But I
Drop that
think you
first solar shield down, keep the villager alive.
misunderstand.
The Herser will get
The
sent.
things you
It takes a long
mentioned are
time for
nothing.
the walls to actually go up here.
I'll
Yumi
burn
Archer
all
sitting
of
back,
them along with
spraying
this
those
entire
Herser for the time being.
laboratory.
Garnet does need to sit here just a little bit longer. And
Barry,
Herser
go up on the
way. Here's
ground
thing.
and wait there.
Grass, his Herser are scary. Not necessarily because they're going to beat any of these units
You gotta love
in the
Barry.
actual fights, but
He must
more because
really
they're
be
walking
afraid of
themselves
Umbrella.
right. 12 per minute, break controls
You
from
and
Grass there, pulling
Umbrella
back the
took
Herser,
his
going after the one
family,
unit there as well as the
you
unit
bastard.
archers and what they can do. Of course, the Miko will come in and defend as well as these samurai.
Umbrella.
Good for the time being.
Well, I used
Grass
some
makes way over
carrots
the
and
gold mine,
sticks to
and,
cow him,
just simply
but it had
sit
nothing
back
to do with
and play
Umbrella.
defense.
I just used
Now,
Barry for my
another dojo. I
personal
like this move from Garnet.
interests.
Another dojo means he's going to be moving a
Though
little bit away
both
from
you
the
and
archers.
Barry
Just pull a
seemed to
bunch.
think I was following Umbrella's orders.
What? What are you planning?
I guess it's time for show and tell. It's magnificent.
For the sake of this thing.
You know, I hate goodbyes.
Barry!
Forgive me.
No, you're not to blame. It's Umbrella and Wesker.
Even if it meant my family, I couldn't bear turning my back on my friends again. Shit!
What's up? I gotta fucking I like the monster in my head. We fail, right?
Damn it!
Jill and Barry together. In hell.
You want a piece of me?
You want a piece of me?
What? Premature.
No, Barry!
Come on, baby.
You viral cultured freak!
Man, I can't move.
Oh.
Oh, what? That's some bullshit. Bro, that was some bullshit. I mean, good reveal, but damn, that was some bullshit. Oh, this time I'll skip all the Oh my god, bro. Come on. Well, don't run with the flammable fuel, I guess. Holy shit, that was funny.
Villagers off of wood over onto food, and I think it's just going to be full steam ahead. He might go mythic heroic age, but I think he might have a better option here of just going full steam ahead on the samurai, on the Nisha, and staying in this classic way. This is something that I talk a lot about for the Japanese, but specifically for Amaterasu, is staying in the classic way is just perfectly fine. Because if you're spamming samurai, you're going to be getting yourself a lot of Bushido. You already get yourself one extra per second here with samurai. Yumiya just don't give a whole lot. As the Herso looking up to the top side of the map, looking for this gold mine, looking for any sort of raid. The main base here with the villagers is going to be open, but all the wolves are in. They're going to be some defenses. Just off this gold mine, doesn't see anything. If you came around on the other side on that raid, it would have been a completely different situation, as the wolves do get some good damage done. You don't get any Bushido from that, but he picks two Ursa off. Huge. Now villagers onto the herdables for the time being. As Garnet still kind of just wandering around here, just wondering where he should go. Grass now in the heroic age through Bragi. As in comes the Raging. But so too, I mean, Battleboard, Owls, and Throw an Axe. I better start looking for another weapon. But here's the thing. Samurai, they're countered by throwing axe. What counters Samurai really hard? Sorry, what counters throwing axe really hard? Yumiya Archer's a 20 range dude, but Thunderdome. Thunderdome is scary for those throwing axemen. And I think Grass needs a lot of them. Grass will be dropping on a great wall over here. Onto this top side. The Hersa for Grass coming through. And he's going to knock onto this right side while sending his dwarves over onto the hunt to the right there as well. The villagers for Garnet will simply pull back. One cool move now for Garnet is that he's got the raid juice, so now he's actually got a raiding force. Of course, he does get countered pretty hard by this Hersa, moving at 5.3 speed, but he can still get those raids off. And he's going to be sending that immediately across the map, as well as Thunderous Presence. They don't have the favor for it, as his Nico is sitting idle for the time being. Wall, shoot up again onto this side. And Garnet now only just about to lose this gold mine. One thing that I haven't seen Mark Larkin players really doing is having in the back of their mind that they should leave the gold mine in the main base. Over 10 minutes, you get 500 gold there. Right? Anyways, up onto the top. Doesn't really matter, he's got his wall set up. 5.6k to 4k. Both players have got a big god power in the bank. And a very, very scary moment getting set up in the next portion of this game. There's Grass going back in onto this site, and he says Town Center has the option. This is going to be tough for Garnet to know what's going on. But he chooses the Town Center shortly. That's just a good move. Alternatively, he could opt into simply buying his Dojo upgrade and getting Hanya Mask and just pushing here. And he's going to have a great time as well. As the Raiju, where are they going? Right over onto this right-hand side. Now the Herzer are going to be in. The TSM player sitting in here for some defense. As well as the Chesney. The Raiju aren't going to be able to get up onto the top here is scary for down as well. He does the Dojo going to go down. He's coming over here to say, get out of here. And John's going to have to reach that. He does see the Town Center up. He's got his own Town Center on the back, just slowly moving through this game. Playing such a heavy defensive game here. And Grass is just happily taking more and more of the map. As Garnet can't do much about this, but just slowly push forward himself. Maybe a castle on the front. There's probably going to be a mythic age shortly. What Garnet has, though, he's just got 100% pop. If he just attacks right now, Grass doesn't have full bombs. Garnet really pop the nail before he goes, but Mythic here coming in momentarily is such a big amount of damage to come on to the Garnet economy as one Berserk gets sniped. Samurai movement. He's dangerous in these situations. Garnet pulls back, uses Samurai Live. He's now sitting at full population on 40 villages, whereas Raz is going Mythic Age and getting further in front of village now because he's not at full pop. He's spamming units, mind you. Raz coming up onto this side to secure another gold mine. The idea of tucking Kazuchi here for Garnet feels really good. But you have to get that value out of that god power. I almost feel like the better call would be Walking Inushi for double Thunderdome ideas. As well as, of course, the extra Trident Hunt, extra free Soul Shield, things like that. And it's going to be Ram coming onto this position, and that will be thrown away here as the Raiju managed to get in here, and that's a huge amount of damage, so that's exactly what Garnet needed. He gets a ton of kills here, 7 villages down. Is that 7 or 8? These guys have got an extra 4 behind there as well. Now there's only a 13 villager advantage, but Grass gets caught out. Didn't have his wall set up, did have some Ursa in position, but you need those walls. Those Raiju are quick. Dojo's coming up for Garnet, upgrades coming in as well, but shortly the army will be through. Very, very close to that next tier of Bushido though, so it's going to be heavy versus heavy when the fight actually happens, but Thimble Winter is going to get dropped down. Takumi Kazuchi is on the way, but it is late. The big wall coming down now from Grass to stop those Raiju raids. In comes the Thimble Winter, and she can do basically nothing but just garrison all your villages while the Thimble Winter is on. Grass is going to be looking for this fight. While this is all going down, there goes the Thunderburst, there goes the Flaming Weapons, there goes the Solar Shield, as Grass's units are getting flung around during this, and it looks like Grass says, no, I don't want this. I don't want any of this at all. Units pulling back here as the Raiju will get almost sniped down. Golden Mine gets dropped up for a crazy increase on gold there. Garnet now, pull back, gets his Raiju sealed up by his Miko. He's going to be having himself his Takumi Kazuchi in momentarily. Didn't really lose too much. Hanya Mask now also on the way, but Garnet needs a lot more favor here. So he can get himself sumo wrestling, as well as the last stand technology through Takumi Kazuchi. Sorry, 10th sword, not last stand. Sumo wrestling, 10th sword. The only issue here for Garnet is he's lost a ton of villages to the winter. 37 to 63. And Grass, he kind of needs to recognize this. This is the tough part. When you're playing against someone who's lost a ton of villages, oftentimes the best way to pull in front is to just invest into the army, invest into the economy. But in comes the Garnet army, ready to start cleaning up this side. Main base under attack here. There is the Asura in the main base, so that can be somewhat of a help. Done a huge amount of damage with the stuff there as the units now charging forward. We see the Divine Slash, and it does get some damage done. No, it doesn't. Didn't it just kill? It killed like 2 through an accident. Unless the battle horse here going down. It's a hard god power. Not everybody can get that Divine Slash off. Undodgeable god power. Town Center now coming in for Grass on the bottom side, as the battle ball will attempt to escape out of here into the Town Center on the right, as the on the Busher, they do so much damage to that second. The Busher on the back there as well. Grass not paying attention, is over onto this side. The Ballaster in, getting some damage there too. Finally, the battle board side is time to run, as I mean, the Q is huge for Garnet, but he's not getting armory upgrades. That's the thing that's scaring me here for Garnet, and I guess it also scares me for Grass as well. Sitting onto the backside, here comes the Raiju, sends everyone flying, getting that huge damage off before pulling back. Great control from the Raiju there for Garnet. And Grass, he has to figure out what to do now, because he is facing a 7.4k military army here with a lot of units on the backside that don't have a lot of HP remaining. In onto the position comes the Asura. Huge damage onto the Town Center. The Battle Roar on the front going down. Grass here sitting still at basically full population, though he's got champion. He's got not champion cav, but champion infantry on the back. Is that going to be enough here to deal with all this fortified Town Centers to come through? But the military numbers for Garnet, they are staying very, very solid here. 6.5k to 3k here is Grass attempting to get his units back out, but when you're fighting down on military population and everything else, it can be incredibly tough to get those trades in, as the death ball of Garnet looking so strong here. More units coming in. The Miko on the back can start healing up. Does Garnet have the resources, the income to continue this push? Town Center does end up falling. Now, Bill for it to be next tier. 4k to 3k. It's getting closer and closer here as the next tier of Bushido doesn't manage to come in for that fight, but it's getting so close. One more fight and it's going to be full champion for Garnet, but he's still very much behind on villager count at this point. And Grass says, fantastic.
Jill.
Get my Town Center back up. The issue to some degree for Grass. Over onto this side. Here comes the battle balls. Huge amounts of berserks being converted in here. As they say, if we win this fight, we win this game. To some degree, not really, but to some degree. And he will overwhelmingly win that fight. And now the villager diff is much more close. And Garnet can get himself back up to full population. Should be okay here. He's losing a lot of stuff on this chase now. Samurai on the way. Lots of samurai on the way. Gold villagers up here. They are safe. Garnet doesn't want to overcommit. Town center to the right now coming up for Garnet.
God damn.
I'll say it again. But Walking Inushi would have completely flipped this game on its head here. Divine Slash, I mean, if you've got an insane value, you would have won the game. Sure. That's maybe a gamble to take. Walking Inushi would be putting Garnet up to full village. Nonetheless, the army of Grass making its way down to the right side, securing gold mine here, gold mine here. That's huge for Grass. Garnet gets his town center up. It's a very, very long time for him to get himself back to full population. 142, 205.
Alright, I can
As a Wolf up on the side for Grass, coming to take his town center out. He wants to get the spot and he started losing all of those villagers over here. He moves back a little bit late. His main base is now opened up. So the wrestling away champion is in. Next hero of the shot is in. You have to remember this also does get fall, and I think that Garnet needs patience. Losing the town center isn't the end of the world. Samurai, trying to get up on the time being. He's getting some pressure over onto this position. Townsend is not going to be helping things out here as Townsend number 4 coming in for Grass. And comes Berserker Gang, iron weapons. Villagers getting some shanks down over onto this side too. All villagers end up falling. And that there is going to be the town center for Grass. Up, completed, and looking fancy fresh. Another villager falling for Garnet. And I think Grass can simply just go up to 260 pop, and this is going to be so tough to deal with. Daddy Spearman on the way. Still no champion. Cav, this gold mine getting pushed up as well. As Garnet tries to keep everything alive, but I'm sure he's quite going to be able to do so. Hill forts going up everywhere as the castle getting targeted down. Units over onto this side, so okay, we'll do a little bit of a swap over the battlefront. Omioji will be able to take out the town center. Daddy Spearman coming through. Yumi Horse Archers on the way. Ballistics now on the way too. Town's just so far behind on armor, on eco, on military. The town center on the way will indeed fall as well.
She would get you milk?
Who comes out in front with these kind of trades?
Oh.
Garnet needs this right side for this gold mine. This gold mine's going to
Yes,
expire.
tomorrow.
This town center doesn't matter that much. He does need at least 2 town centers to compete versus this small side. Just to take out Hill Fort on the right side. See Raiju raids trying to be effective here. With the walls up, you have to break down a wall to get in there. This guy's system like stone walls getting researched here either. It's Iron Mail now in. Town center on the left, now up.
Maybe
Let's go around to the right side because they know that this is the next most important field of battle. Garnet has 0 gold income. He's trying to get his town center up. All the villagers moving over here, 60 to 100. The scary Japanese army is in. One wrong step, things can get very, very difficult. 75 favor in the bank. Garnet is not going to be enough for another Thunderburst. Hillfort going to come up here as well to start threatening all of this as the thrown action. And that done onto the front side, tries to get the solar shield in to attack up those thrown action for Grass. Too clean with it here. Taking down everything but that solar shielded samurai. And the Garnet army, after all is said and done, will end up falling. And Grass looks to take game at number 1 here. It looks like Garnet tapping out. A valiant effort here from Garnet. I feel like he had a pathway through this Grass game plan. He was playing so well. I feel like he needed to go Wolf Inushi here for Divine Free Fetch up in order to get his villagers out, to get himself on the Larky in, and to get himself a secondary Thunderburst. First Thunderburst deals with playing weapons, second Thunderburst deals with the second fight. He could have been in an advantageous position to go for that. But credit where credit's due, Grass played this incredibly well. Great pressure, no overcommitments. Fantastic respect actually given to Garnet in this game. He didn't take any risks and just played a really solid ball game. But it's a long series, and you can see here that Garnet definitely can tango with the best of it. Seems to be able to find a win versus Grass, but we're going to continue our clean, sweeping ways. Versus Odin. Budapest. Not very much of, but a matchup
Oh my god, dude.
I've loved since Legacy. I've been pretty adamant on this time that Norse is just good on water. Some people will finally come around to that. Some of these have got this gigantic unit in the page called the Mountain Giant, which helps you through all of the problems that you can ever find yourself in. You've got to get Yotons, you've got to get the Mountain Giants, you've got to have the units out to mix in with the Yotons. Otherwise, the heroes will take them out too quickly. So it's important. You've got to play. It's not an easy matchup. It's not a simple matchup, but it's a fun and explosive matchup. There are lots of things can go wrong at the drop of a button. I was asking in chat, I wonder if transport ships are good in this map. One day we'll see someone use a transport ship. One day. They are good, by the way. Thank you. Yeah, so Zeus does have some other really.
Barry! Barry! You're okay.
Jill, sorry. That was careless of me. Wesker.
He's gone.
First, let's just get out of here.
That was kind of easy. I had a few shells. Go back to one of that. Yeah, I was thinking of time to get rid of some special powers. The door is electronically locked. Wait, so how do I unlock? Come on, man. Where do I go after this? Oh, there we go. Toss that. At least I used it. Not that it was much use. Let's see if we can use it. At least I saved most of my shotgun ammo.
Self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and
Wesker must have set it off. Let's hurry.
self-destruct system has been activated. Deactivating and releasing all locks. Self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all
This is
locks.
Brad. I'm running out of fuel. If there's anyone alive, contact me now or just give me a sign. I repeat, this is your last chance.
All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all locks. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. 3 minutes to detonation.
Damn it! We're almost there! I'll go get him. You just get in contact with Brad. Whatever it takes.
Okay.
Pretty exciting, man. Okay, I'm gonna get those. Let me get some tires.
Jill!
You made it.
No way, it's a tire. No way.
Jill, use it! Kill it, whatever it is!
Oh my god, look, I didn't run.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time today, we have not a clean sweep. Come back over to the ground.
Your wife?
Yeah, my wife and kids. They always wait up for me. Even today, my eldest daughter. I didn't mean to.
This matchup has been changed.
It's okay. He's alive.
Inside of this matchup,
I just
we've
know.
been seeing go left, right, up, down. At the moment, we are just waiting on another emergency. Can't believe we've had two today. I know it's not. It wasn't that big of an emergency. Who's this matchup better for? I like Noob. Yeah, Devin's the best god, but nobody seems to realize that. The shortest of breaks come back before the game starts.
Okay, so all I had to do was go back there. Damn, I let Chris die.
Jill, you did a fine job.
Okay, this time, let me get the video in there. All I need to do is free him.
Self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Reactivating and releasing all logs. Self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all logs.
Without question here, for Garnet. The queue is gigantic, units will drop, come out straight away. More units. Garnet can get himself back up to full population.
Has been activated. All personnel must evacuate immediately.
He'll be able to take out the council though. Now he's been coming through. Union Horse Archers on the way, Monsters now on the way too. He's just so far behind on Armor, on Eco, on Tech, on everything, on military. Townsend on the left will indeed fall as well.
System has been activated.
Who comes out in front with these kind of trades?
Personnel must evacuate
Now to leave this right side for this whole match is fine. This Townsend doesn't matter. He doesn't need at least 2 Townsend to be versus this small. Just take out the right side. See why 2 raids. Trying to be effective. Holds up. You have to break down, hold anything down. This fight system like so walls to resources. Main mail down. Townsend on the left, now up. Units motor around to the right side. They know that this is the next most important thing to happen. Down has 0 gold. Comes trying to get his Townsend up. All 16 to 1. Scary. That Japanese arm is one wrong step. Very, very easy. Just by waiting back. No, it's not enough for us. Thunderbirds. Also, getting more help as well. Start threatening all this is the Thorn Axe, getting that damage done onto the front side. Tries to get the Solar Shield in to tank up those Thorn Axe with the fast. Clean with it here. Taking out everything but that Solar Shield with Samurai. And the Garnet army, after all this said and done, will end up falling. And Grass looks to take game number 1 here. It looks like coming out a valiant effort here from Garnet. I feel like he had a pathway through. He's playing so well. Blind prefetcher to get his village to get himself on Rocky here.
All personnel must evacuate immediately.
To get himself a secondary Thunderburst. First Thunderburst deals with flying weapons, second Thunderburst deals with the second fight. Could have been an advantageous position to make for that. But credit where credit's due, Grass played this incredibly well. Great pressure, no overcommitments. Fantastic respect actually given to Garnet in this game. As he didn't take any risks and just played a really solid game. But it's a long series, and you can see here that Garnet definitely can tango with the best
Sorry
of
about the
them.
wait.
See if he's going to be able to find
So
a win
everything's
versus
taken
Grass,
care
but
of?
We're going to continue our
Well,
clean, sweeping
almost.
ways.
Now let's get the
So
hell
I'm
out of
gonna
here.
See what game number 2 is going to be.
Self-destruct system has been activated.
Next game, Zeus
All personnel
versus Odin.
evacuate
Budapest.
Deactivating and
Zeus versus
releasing all logs.
Budapest. Not a matchup I've seen very much of, but a matchup that I personally have loved since Legacy days. I've been pretty adamant for the longest time that Norse is just good on water. Some people have finally come around to that fact. The reason I like Norse is because you get to be incredibly aggressive. You get a huge amount of food, you don't have to worry about your food, your secondary hunt getting knocked off. And you've also got some of these Norse gods. You've got this gigantic. I do think that Hermes is very, very important. Yes, you're scared of walls and things like that, but walls only do so much. Especially versus Zeus, you can just beat through
All
them.
personnel must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all logs.
Come on, let's go.
Self-destruct system has been activated.
Camera return.
All
I use
personnel
arrows.
must evacuate immediately. Deactivating and releasing all logs.
Some people use the drag one as well, like you do too. Alright, I wouldn't be surprised to see Heimdall here for Garnet. Also, Hermes isn't a terrible idea either. Let's decide on the Heimdall. And for Grass, I think this is the harder option. I'm not gonna lie, the harder option for Grass. I can't remember who played it. There was a matchup of Magic playing Frere versus Zeus. And he ran into some real big problems versus that Hermes. It was versus Oscar. Nonetheless, another dock up for Grassy is going to put all the pressure over here. Another dock for Garnet here. Can you see any attempt at a dock on the bottom side? Not just yet.
All personnel
Jason comes through. It's Garnet into retreats.
and releasing all logs.
But with Heimdall in, with Athena in, Garnet needs to get himself the military buildings down as fast as he humanly can. Now, the good thing is that he can build some ships out quickly. He can start working towards the favor he needs to get the mixed bullet technology. That can then help him spam his units out really quick without needing as many military buildings. He's going to be going straight into a longbow, as well as a dragon ship. Here comes the Minotaur.
Self-destruct system has been activated.
To some degree here, actually, Garnet should be able to win these early game fights, and this shouldn't really be happening. But he wanted those military buildings down as fast as possible instead. As Indy comes down, and I tell you, one sneaky move would definitely be to just throw up a wall here and prevent that Minotaur from escaping. Doesn't go for it, gets a couple of smacks off onto the Minotaur. Heracles is in. Berserk versus Jason, and Jason wins the fight there, just barely. So Urso's just continuing to chase down this Minotaur, gets smacked down to 3.8 speed with that snare, and it will be a dead Minotaur. The double military academy is up now, and a dead Minotaur indeed. Garnet, though, inside this main base here. Not the best fight for him, but he's getting a good amount of favor in. Now he decides it's time to run, as Jason gets away from here. A bolt gets dropped down onto, I'm not sure what, must have been behind me somewhere. Is Pentagon's now out. Looking for some pressure, but a longbow underneath the dock. He should be able to win this fight if he focus fires. There he goes. At least he should be able to come somewhat close to winning the fight. He can also run back here if he wants to. No docks getting garrisoned either by Grass, and it looks like this is going to be a bit of an issue for Grass.
Come on,
Base now under attack. Berserk's coming in for some villager picks. This position is open. The Berserk can't really beat the hoplites. They sort of can, sort of can't. It's kind of close. As Katoskopos goes down, both players floating a lot of food here as Grass clearly wants to get to the Heroic Age. A Heroic Age would mean that Grass gets to use Pacifist, which deal with these Berserks really nicely. Behind this, Amask is in, so you've got 5.3 speed Berserks. You did get Riggs Dueler as well.
Come on, come on, hurry!
Dealing with what's happening over here, but it's still out. Lux can also try and charge up here and clean the docks with an Undermine. He's got a lot of units there, so he definitely win that really once, but behind this, Dionysus and, well, put out on the retreat here as the Berserks will get turned onto. But this is a good fight for Garnet as the reinforcements now coming in, and Grass goes, oh crap, that's a lot of units. I don't even think there was a single dead Berserk there, as they're all going to slowly start healing back up. Very, very big. Garnet as Grass now in his main base, but he's got all the production, he's got plenty of gold here. Come up and grab this gold mine. I'd love to see walls just getting spewed up everywhere with Safeguard in hand for Garnet there. That's not something that he is wanting to do just yet. The other issue is that this side of the water is going to start getting hit by Skylar as the Berserks taking out the dock here and give themselves an answer to the trireme and maybe win the bottom side. Maybe it's the better idea. Skylar up here, dragon ship, Dreki over here. That's going to go down, and that Skylar is going to be the Loch Ness Monster without question on this top position. 5 heads are incoming.
All personnel must
Hoplites on the way. Yord now queued up. You actually have the Royal Fleet coming in from Ghana, so he does want to continue to try and fight here. He's also got a Penta Contra out. As in comes the Undermine. Takes that, make sure that dock does end up falling, but the dock's going to come back up immediately as more Berserks are getting spammed out here. That's the top side, the Berserks are in, and they're going to go for a raid while this is all going on. Fortress up into the center of the map there as well, as the Toxotes getting taken down. Lots and lots of chaos while this is all going on. Into the main base, though. This raid is gigantic. Restoration is forced, as the army here from Garneth does need to run, just sitting here, tanking up for that. That's not what he wants to do. Garneth gets a huge amount of villager kills in this main base there. Grass deletes the storehouse, but it's too little too late. 3 villagers falling. Now 36 fills to 26 fills, but into the center of the map there's a fortress, and well, Garneth, I would have to say, is somewhat stuck here in this classical age with the Einery and that special. That's going to be a lot of damage onto the pacifist, but that's not what Garneth wanted. He wanted villager picks, gets another vill kill, but into the fortress he goes, and the villagers will be safe here to mine that gold mine for quite some time. As Garneth, well, he's got to get himself throwing axemen to deal with the pacifist, but in comes most likely a pacifist. Top water, still under turmoil here. The grass. I think this dock will end up falling and definitely go into fishing ships if you are Garneth there. And Garneth now will be on the way to the rower gauge, and there will be access to at go time. Those mountain giants. 70 favor. As Armory finishes, in comes the road. Berserk's up to the top, going to be looking to drop a dock here as well. All the pressure.
Come on,
The reason why this is so
hurry!
good is Norse. And the Aztecs, to be fair, if you've got yourself a warrior crystal, you get favor with attack the tower of the Aztecs. But Garneth needs to be patient here for just a little bit longer. Still spamming out Berserks and throwing Axemen is fine. So long as he gets himself out those all-important mid-units. He's making Einery. It does help him out. One Axeman can come over and get little hot shots from behind here. This one pacifist ends up falling. White ends up falling. Einery will blow that horn to try and help out as Grass losing some units over onto this side. The Berserk's coming through. The pacifists say, we're happy to turn and take the fight. Bronze gets dropped down. Missing half the units there, though. He's got to snipe that Jason, because it's going to be so strong. Trying to take out a Hydra. Yes, you've got bonus damage versus mid units with those Berserks, but it's a 74% hack armor. Hydra, it does manage to stay alive here. No, it goes down, but so too do the Berserks go down. There's no food in the bank now for Garneth. He does win the fight on the top, though, as he's throwing Axemen coming in. No, wait, there was the Walking Woods while this is going on. Is the fortress getting cleaned up while this is all going along? Grass in so much trouble now as the Heracles Jason goes down. And the Walking Woods cleans the fortress, going after the main town center. But Jason is now in. He'll normally put a stop to this without losing a whole lot. 44 villages to 34. Big advantage for Garneth. 100 favor in the bank. Huge advantage for Garneth. Garneth needs to get himself a lot more food economy for him to, well, basically spend all that favor. He could go for another Walking Woods, but you know how I feel about that. Not good. Grass attempting to get out of here as the throwing Axemen getting caught out. They've got to be careful as the Einery will blow that horn. So they're coming back in. Sniping the Jason there, the throwing Axemen face tanking. Those, the pacifist is never what you want. From on this side, we do see the Kraken coming through. Grass isn't paying attention. Well, also if Garneth isn't paying attention, it's not going to matter. But it's a 3-headed silo with only 200 HP, takes down the dock. It will be a close fight. I think the Kraken wins it. So back up onto this spot, looking to drop another dock here. Grass lives another day, even though the villager differential is getting further and further out of control.
Jill, use it! Kill it, whatever it is!
Have Ring Giver, most resources for it. He's got so many resources in the bank. One of the hardest parts about playing Norse is often just making dock infrastructure to build everything. There's only 3 great halls, which, looking at the resources, is just not enough. Market now coming up to Garneth, you can buy and build those road cuts out if he wants to as well. Or you can look to Mountain Giants will slowly start to come in. Jotuns is queued up. You don't really want a Mountain Giant by itself. If you're going to build them, recommend building them, you've got to make sure you get those upgrades. Another Kraken to come in from Garneth. He wants to clean up this water. He's just continuing to get so much value all across the map. But his main base is under attack. He needs units in to defend himself. It's a strong Greek army. The only issue for Grass is he's not gathering any favor as the Mountain Giant sneaks around the side, going out to the main base. In comes Heracles, but Garneth is quick to notice that. What to do, though, is Grass to pull that Heracles away. Berserks need to take out that back dock there. You see the ships coming in. No good for Garneth at the moment. He is in full flight, full send. He's charging into the main base. Jotun is now in. Going after the town center is a ridiculous move here. We'll see if it's going to work for him. You don't want to lose your army. He's got the mountain giant throwing action over here as well. We'll have to start running. There are peltasts into this army, but not very many. Excuse me, there was only one, and it's already down. Down center here will end up falling 100 HP and down, but the Jotun is also down, and the army for Garneth is also down. I don't think he should be sitting here. He loses everything. As onto the backside, there's also some villagers needing to get converted into berserks, and, well, Garneth kills the town center, but loses the army. Very, very crazy there, but look at the villager differential.
Jill, you did a
There's
fine
20
job.
villagers now for Garneth. You remember last game? Well, this is this game, guys. This is going to be an incredibly difficult time for Grass. I think maybe one of the ideas here is to drop a temple, put all the villagers onto food, and just try and utilize another restoration to get a gold star, but that in of itself is going to be very, very difficult. Heavy coming through. Main base not getting protected. Villagers, there's 18 villagers here and no town center. Villagers coming up to try and drop a dock potentially, but the Kraken is sitting here to take those out. Main base now under attack here is, well, Garneth losing a town center. That doesn't feel as bad. Because he's got 51 villagers. Grass moving across the map, looking to drop a storehouse over here as well. What a wild game here. Villagers are getting chased down. Does Grass have himself ballistics? He doesn't, so these villagers are kind of hard to chase him down. He could go for a Berserker Rock here if he wants to. He's got a lot of gold in the bank. Buy 500 food and go full all in. We've seen Garneth lose his mind once before. Is he going to lose it again? Jarl's coming in onto the back line, hitting those Toxotes as the hoplites need to get in there. Garneth doesn't go crazy. He buys food, buys himself all of the units he possibly can. It's 160 pop to 100. This one Hydra with 549 HP is the hero Hydra in this game. 2,000 damage done. More Great Halls coming up. And a defender's advantage without question here for Garneth. The queue is gigantic. Units will drop, will come out straight away. More units coming in onto this backside, though. The Thrown Axeman will be able to win that if they have any micro, but he's not going for it. And it looks like that there is going to be enough. And Grass taps out as Garneth strikes back in game number 2. What a powerful display here from Garneth's Odin. Grass, he found a lot of